So E3 2019 has come and gone, and it was a weird one. Weird enough that I just wanted to make this video going over my thoughts about it. The biggest change was Sony just not showing up this year. So besides the Death Stranding announcement a week before, they did nothing for E3. Well, this is most likely due to the fact that the next generation PlayStation, aka PS5, is coming out next year, and they can't really announce any new games before that is announced. Due to that, there was a sizable hole missing in the lineup, but even without them, this E3 was mostly quiet again due to the next generation coming out next year. I guess the best way for me to go over my thoughts are to go by each press conference, so let's start with Xbox. Xbox to me was underwhelming, but not bad. I was hoping with Sony not showing up, Xbox would take advantage of it and go big, but they did not. For them, it felt like a normal year. They did show off a bunch of games, which is great, and some of them do look really good. But the issue is they showed so many games, it meant no time for some gameplay demos. I was expecting to get at least gameplay demos for Gears 5 and Halo Infinite, but nope. Then they also talked about their next generation console, Project Scarlet, but I feel they only did the minimum. They should have teased the box or maybe show off one other game that will launch with the console besides Halo. But I guess they did not want to make a promise they know they might not be able to keep. But like I said, it wasn't bad. The trailer for Halo Infinite was great at teasing, Cyberpunk 2077 still looks great, and hey, Keanu Reeves showed up. Another game I wanted to mention is an indie game called 12 Minutes, which actually looks really tense. I'll link the trailer to that in the description. Next was Bethesda, and I actually walked away somewhat impressed. At the start, I had no expectations since both Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 were not going to show up. However, we got to see quite a bit of their main game for the year, Doom Eternal, and it looks sick. There are also nice updates to Elder Scrolls Blades and Elder Scrolls Legends, two games I recently got into playing, so for me at least, I liked what they talked about. They also announced a much needed update to Fallout 76, including new quests and human NPCs that can speak. You know, things that should have been there to begin with. They also announced a Battle Royale mode called Nuclear Winter, and it's actually not bad. I tried it out last week with the free trial of Fallout 76, and I did have some fun with it, with very little lags or bugs. For reference, I was playing on a base PS4. They also announced two new IPs with Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, both of which I'm interested in, but they showed very little of it, so we would have to wait until most likely next E3 to get some more info. So besides not fully apologizing for Fallout 76, something that bugged me, Bethesda was actually really good and should be even better next year if they're releasing Starfield, hopefully. Next up was Ubisoft, and for me it was I like the news for The Division 2 and the new Rainbow Six game Outbreak, which is actually interesting. Apparently the game was made from what was left of a cancelled Ubisoft game, and then obviously the theme of the Outbreak mode from Rainbow Six Siege from last year. It could be good. Watch Dogs 3 also looks to be really good with you being able to play as any NPC, like a grandma for instance. They really highlighted that feature, which they should, it seems fun. But for that I was disappointed that I have to wait until March 2020 to play it. And this is becoming an issue because seriously early 2020 is looking to be really busy. But besides that, there was not much for me to get excited for. There's no Mario Rabbids sequel or any other Nintendo collaboration. Assassin's Creed is not back until next year, they're taking a year off. No Beyond Good and Evil, and Skull and Bones skipped the show as well. I will say about half the show was Tom Clancy related in some way, be it The Division, Outbreak, Rainbow Six Siege, and that new mobile game they showed off. So definitely relying on the Tom Clancy. Oh, and then the other one, the Wildlands sequel. So okay press conference, but it really is focusing on the Tom Clancy license. They really milked that this year. Now hopefully next year they let that rest a bit. Square Enix was next, and I thought it was great, except for one game that was showed. They started off strong with Final Fantasy VII Remake, which looks amazing, and as someone who has not played the original, I can't wait to play this. However, I am worried because they have not been committing to how many games this will be. 2? 3? Even 4? Personally, I think that this is the first of 3, but even then, are we looking at a game every year, every other year, every 2 years? I have heard nothing but great things about this game, and I've been waiting for the remake, but I also do not want the process to take like 7-8 years to get the rest of the games out. For me, the other announcement I'm interested in was the Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Again, another Final Fantasy that I have not played, and now I can hopefully get to play a better version of it. This is a series I do want to get into. Then besides Dying Light and a few other JRPGs, the event came to a close with the Avengers game, and it was Like graphically the game looks good, but the design of some of the Marvel characters look weird. Like they tried to be somewhat similar to the MCU versions of the characters, but they did not 100% commit to it, so it does look weird. Also, what exactly the game is unclear. Looks like there'll be a single player campaign, but there's also co-op, so is it co-op for the campaign? And if so, what is there to do after? They also mentioned that they'll be adding superheroes after, so is this like a Destiny model where there's a base campaign with co-op, and then every so often there'll be expansions with new missions and characters? I guess that could work, but we would have to see more gameplay and hopefully soon, since it does come out next May. There was a gameplay shown behind doors for journalists, but publicly it was just a trailer with some small snippets of it, plus mostly cutscenes. So for Square Enix, decent show, and absolutely better than last year. Lastly, there was Nintendo, and I'll keep this short as I do not play much on the Switch. Luigi Mansion 3 looks fun, as well as Super Mario Maker 2. I heard the rumors of The Witcher 3 coming to the Switch, and I actually did not believe it until I saw the trailer. It does not look great, but as long as it performs okay, well, then Switch owners should definitely be happy getting one of the best games of all time on the platform. The biggest thing I was looking forward to that I did not see is the long-rumored Metroid Prime trilogy. Having never played much Metroid, I was hoping this would be announced so I can catch up and be ready for Metroid Prime 4 whenever that comes out. But those are my thoughts on E3 2019. To sum it up, it was disappointing at times and quieter than past years, so I don't think any show in the future will hit the highs of 2015 and 2016. For me, what hurt it was a lack of gameplay demos at the actual press conferences, and games that have been rumored to come out, but still not being announced yet. Looking on the bright side though, there were still some good games showed off. The first half of 2020 looks great, and hopefully a quieter E3 this year means a loud and exciting one next year. What are your thoughts on E3? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.